Hi, I'm Peter Sidwell. Welcome to my kitchen. I've got a quick recipe for you, healthy alternative to buttermilk chicken. We're going to serve it up in some little baby gem lettuce with a Korean barbecue sauce. It is super quick, tasty, healthy and delicious. Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. It is that time of day again. We are here and ready to cook. I've got Emily and Carlos both controlling the edit today because they've got new toys for Christmas on their cameras, so bear with us, there's going to be all kinds of things going on. But we've got two delicious recipes. Well, actually we've got four, because within each recipe there's another one. So we're going to start off with a delicious alternative to buttermilk chicken. So it's going to be crispy. We're going to use chicken thighs. We're not going to deep fry it though. We're just going to put a bit of colour in the pan and then finish them in the oven. I've actually got a really delicious new rapeseed oil, locally produced in Cumbria actually, in the Eden Valley. Rapeseed oil in the UK is really popular and it's great to get some local produce like that. We're going to do it actually in a breadcrumb crust, so a little bit of panko. We're going to do some oats in there as well to get that extra bit of goodness in. We've got some seasonings and we're going to serve them up instead of in a wrap or in some carbs, because Emily's allergic to carbs at the moment, aren't you?
It's nice to have these types of carbs.
Although she did eat some very delicious focaccia bread yesterday, which I'm pretty sure had carbs in.
Expose me.
Wasn't it good?
It was.
I can't wait to show you our new focaccia recipe. It's delicious. But that will come later. So we're going to serve them up in a little, like little cups with these baby gem lettuce, and I'm going to make a quick Korean style barbecue sauce just out of the store cupboard. And then I'm going to share a Nordic seed bread. So it's gluten-free, it's packed full of seeds and nuts, absolutely delicious. And we're going to serve that up with a fat-free cream cheese, homemade, and we're going to flavour it with garlic and chive, so it's like La Roule type cheese, so it's delicious. So, start with the chicken, okay? So, instead of buttermilk, I'm going to use 0% yogurt, because I'm trying to sort of just carve off a few of the calories that might come into a dish, but make it still taste absolutely amazing. So, let's get rid of that. So I'm going to flavour the yogurt with a little bit of smoked paprika. Okay? And we're going to let this sit for about an hour. A little bit of sprinkle of salt in there. The yogurt's actually going to work and break down the fibres in the chicken and tenderise it a little bit, okay? And that's kind of why the buttermilk is used for this sort of style chicken. It's tenderisation really, and a little bit of flavour. So we've upped the flavour with a bit of paprika in there. If I put that there, and then we will have a look at the chicken. So, I'm going to use another board here. Is that all right there? It's not going to blow out, is it? Are we all right?
Yep.
Yeah, good. I've got the nod. I'm all right. Two of them today to look out for. So chicken thighs, these are skinless and boneless. So they're really easy to use. They're cheaper and they are delicious. I mean, if you can get them with the bone and the skin on, and they're even cheaper. But if you get them like this, skinless and boneless, all I'm going to do is cut them in half. I'm not going to do them too big. You could do them whole if you wanted to, but obviously they take a little bit longer to cook. All I'm doing is cutting them in half, all right? And then we're going to get those straight into the buttermilk. Now, if you want the recipe for any of the dishes today, scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you to masterclass.co website where we put all our recipes. And if you do want any of the equipment that I use, go to cookserveandenjoy.com and you can always get everything there. Right, let's get rid of that. Right, so get the chicken in the yogurt and we're just going to leave that. Now, if I was doing this at home, I would then leave this for an hour or overnight if you've got the time and the inclination, and it will just tenderise it even more. Right, this chicken has been overnight. I did one that I made earlier, so let's just put that to one side. Now, we want to egg, flour and breadcrumb these, okay? But I want to make the egg and the actual crumb healthier and even more delicious. The kids will like this. So we're going to start off with some panko. So we're going to do about 2/3 panko breadcrumbs. You could use normal breadcrumbs if you wanted to. If you're making them yourself, you need to dry your bread out in the oven before you blend it up into breadcrumbs, okay? So that it goes really nice and crisp. Then I've got 1/3 oats, so in terms of volume this is. And then we'll just mix those together so we've got the added nutritional value of oats. And look, they seamlessly just blend in together. And then I've got some sesame seeds. I have got some onion powder. I've got some garlic powder and oregano, and it is all going in. They're just flavorings, just to add another layer of flavor without adding sort of fat or sugar or anything like that. It just means they're going to taste even more delicious. Okay.
Do you use things like wholemeal bread?
Yeah, totally. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually, when I flour the chicken, I'm using rye flour.
Oh, okay.
Just an easy swap out so that you've got a bit more nutritional value. It'll do, all the flour does is stick the egg to the chicken. That's it. So if you can use a more nutritionally valuable product, why not? So, a couple of eggs into here. The kids will absolutely love this, and they'll think they're having like a treat night tea, as it's called in our house. But actually they're having something a bit healthier. Okay, so. Let's bring our chicken in. So we've got, let's put this in the right order that we want it, okay? So we've got chicken, flour, egg, breadcrumb, all right? Coffee. Okay, so it's really important when you're doing this, try and keep one hand clean. It is easier said than done. This is my clean, I know, my dry hand, all right? This is the wet hand. So I'm left-handed, so I will always go for left first. It's just the way I am. So a little bit of the excess yogurt off there. The flour will stick to it really easily. Okay, so this is my wet hand, so I'm all right. I'm getting a mess with this one. Lift it out and then in to the egg mixture. Try and get a nice even coating because the egg is what's going to stick the breadcrumbs and the oats to the chicken. Now, if you were vegetarian, you could totally do this. The cauliflower or aubergine works just the same. So aubergine, what I tend to do is cut it into sort of 2 centimetre thick slices. I roast it in the oven for about 15 minutes and then I remove the skin. And then I treat it like a piece of chicken. Okay? So can I just pop that onto there, Carlos? Was that all right?
Should be.
Yeah, you'll let me? Good. So we'll just do a couple more. I'm not going to do them all because it's a bit boring watching this bit. But if you have any questions at all, please do post them in the comments below. We've come back this year and we've got great audience viewing figures, so thank you very much for that. It's really great that you're all joining us, and we're getting new people. I got a message, somebody's watching us in Tasmania now, so that's kind of cool. I've always fancied Tasmania. Have you been there? No? I fancy Tasmania. So it is brilliant that people literally all over the world, all corners of the world are watching, which is lovely. So how's this recipe looking, Emily, for your fitness gym activities? Would you go for this?
Yeah, because you obviously you've removed the oil when cooking and
so far.
Yeah. And like you said, the healthier alternatives to using the flour, adding the oats.
It's quick, easy swaps, I think. Yet you still feel like you're having something
leaner meat because you're using the thigh.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously skin removed. Yeah. So, I mean, if you wanted to go even leaner, you could use chicken breast if you wanted to, but thighs are nicer.
But they've got exactly, you still want the flavour there rather than just being...
I think what we've tried to do is try and make, it isn't just about strip every bit of fat and sugar and carb out of things. I think it's how can I add nutritional value? How can I get more fibre in? Yes, how can I reduce a bit of fat and a little bit of that sort of thing, but how can you get it as healthy as it can be, like little swaps? You know, 0% yogurt's an easy swap. That's just pick up a different tub.
Yeah.
You know, rye flour's good for you.
Adding
You
the
know,
oats.
getting the oats in there. Yeah, exactly. So it's not always about taking away. It's swapping things out that taste good and that have value. Because I think sometimes food can have no nutritional value if you're not careful.
And
Okay.
no flavour if you...
Yeah.
Like,
If you've got, I mean, if you're taking things out of your diet, you need to put flavour in, because otherwise you're going to fail and you're gonna crave things, I think. Right, let's do one more, because I reckon Carlos will be up for this. You're no sugar at the moment, aren't you?
No sugar.
No sugar.
Alcohol.
No alcohol.
No, a few things.
And he's still smiling. It's all right.
Just tweaking sometimes.
Yeah. Right, last piece. And then I'll wash my hands and we'll get on and cook these. Okay, so what I do is I lift the breadcrumb up and sit it on top of the chicken. And then it gives me a chance to try. And look, dry hand, wet hand. Do we now see why we keep one, one dry and one clean? All right, okay. Okay, so we've got some of our chicken here and you can see, look, it's nice and thin. Can you see that, Emily?
yeah.
You see how thin it is? Because we've cut it in half, we've laid it out flat, which means it'll cook quickly. So, what I'm gonna do is get my pan on. So I'm gonna use my trusty cast aluminium pan. I'm gonna get a little bit of rapeseed oil in, not a lot. So you would normally deep fry this. You absolutely do not need to deep fry it. So I've got a tablespoon of rapeseed oil in there. You could use vegetable oil, you could use peanut oil, whatever you want really. I wouldn't use extra virgin olive oil because you're kind of going to burn the flavour and goodness away, but if that's all you've got, that's all you've got, okay? Right, so in it goes. We're going to just colour it in the pan and then we're going to finish it in the oven. And while it's cooking, we'll make the sauce that goes with it.
I suppose this is another way, like, it's kind of a good base to have, like, if you wanted to make, like, a katsu sauce or...
Yeah, you go whatever way you want with it. If you want katsu, you know, if you want sweet and sour, barbecue, Vietnamese, whatever takes your fancy, really. The chicken is just really that vessel for flavour. So you can see it it gets that bit of colour on straight away. All I want to do is just give it a little bit of a head start in the hob. Okay? A little bit of colour. You can just spray, if you've got an oil spray, what you could also do is just spray them with a mist of oil and whack them in the oven, 180 degrees, and cook them that way if you want to, or you can do it this way. It's entirely up to you. You get them a little bit crispier this way. Okay, so while they are cooking, we will have a look at our baby gem. Now, the baby gem, you want to just take the outer layer out. What we're going to try and do is just make some cups, all right? So everything will just sit inside the leaves. Okay, so we'll just nick the core out in the centre and then just kind of unravel them a bit, like that. And they act as your cup or your wrap, if you want. So it's a little healthier. So you want reasonable sized ones. So any questions, you two, today?
Oh, crikey. I've already asked a few to Carlos now.
Would you make this, Carlos?
Yeah, I'll try
Yeah.
again. I'll probably try with the vegetarian option. With the
Yeah.
broccoli. Just like the idea as well.
Yeah. Aubergine's really good as well, because you could also do it with mushroom. Like, if you buy decent sized mushrooms, you could do it with those as well, because they're quite meaty, mushrooms. Right, let's just lift those out and whack them in the oven.
I suppose you could add spices to your flowers and things like you did. You could add
Yeah, we had a little bit of paprika into the yoghurt.
Yeah.
And then I did onion powder, garlic powder, sesame seeds.
You could kind
So
of
it was
play
more
with
of
those
a
flavours, couldn't
yeah,
you?
it was more of a seasoning, an oregano in there than spices. But if you wanted to put some cayenne in there and give it a bit of oomph, or if you were doing katsu and you wanted to add a little bit of garam masala into the chicken as well as the sauce, totally easy. So let's just leave these to one side. I'll grab a plate actually, and we'll pop those on. And while the chicken's cooking, so you can just get everything ready. Okay, get a couple more.
Good for like parties as well, like if you little gatherings.
Yeah, TV dinner. You know, if you feel like a TV dinner and a slightly healthier one, this could work really nicely. So let's talk about today's sauce that I want to make. So I've got this, which is Korean fermented chili paste, and I'm going to try and pronounce it.
Oh, crack, here we go.
It is gochujang, I think. All right, but if you cut into that, Emily, I bought it on Amazon. It's dead easy to get hold of. I've seen it in a few of the supermarkets as well, so it isn't that difficult to get hold of these days. So it's becoming more mainstream.
Is there anything close?
Sriracha,
That would work.
you know, like the chili paste that you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get that everywhere. You could use sweet chili sauce if you want and scrap the honey,
Yeah.
because it's already got the sweetness in it, you know, like a mainstream supermarket one, if you wanted to. I'm just making a combination of flavours that I know I like.
Yeah.
So I've got some of the chili paste, I've got some light soy sauce, so it's not too intense. Okay, so a couple of tablespoons of that.
How much would you, can you alter the recipe to
Absolutely,
had
however
dark,
you want it to
if
be.
you use dark soy sauce?
If you want to, but you would just want to put less in because it'll be very intense, very salty. It's really about getting it working for you. How do you like it? Do you like it saltier, sweeter? I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar now. So I've got a little bit of sherry vinegar here, but you could use rice wine vinegar, which is probably slightly more authentic. You could use lime juice. You could use white vinegar, rice vinegar, whatever you fancy. But just mix it all together and have a taste of it. And if it's how you like it, then it's right. And it's very much about getting it how you like it. And then once that chicken's super crispy, we're going to cut it up, pop it into these lettuce leaves and finish it with a bit of this dressing. And you'll have the most amazing, full flavoured, healthy dinner. Right, chicken is cooked nice and crispy. So let's just get a fish slice. So you can see it's just sort of crisped up. Because I've used the non-stick trays here for a masterclass, we have absolutely no problems getting these off. And what I've done is I've transferred our dressing into a big bowl, okay? And the way, now you could just put the chicken straight into the salad leaves, but what I thought I would do is just kind of slice them into 3, and then I'm going to sit them in the dressing. So you get maximum flavour. That one can just go straight down the middle. And you could chuck some spring onions into this or some coriander if you like. And then we will just stir this up so that everything gets a nice coating. Okay? You want a taste of this, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's still really crispy, but it's kind of, it's a bit like the way they do sort of buffalo chicken.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all in the sauce. And then, so just give it a really good stir. It'll stay crispy still, but it just takes all the flavour on now of the dressing and just makes it that little bit more delicious. So what I'm going to do is, there we go, there we go. So try that, see what you think, and I will plate the rest up. Here's one for Carlos.
Thank you.
There we go. Feed the crew first, you see. You lot can wait. So don't expect any amazing cinematic edits because those two are eating. All right? So all you do is just pop them in like this. What do we think? Good noises coming from over there. can't resist. I need a taste.
Oh.
That is good. Oh. Right, there you go. That is how to make my healthy alternative to crispy buttermilk chicken. I've served it up in some little baby gems with some Korean style barbecue sauce. Absolutely delicious. Now it's time for Nordic Sea.